to that contractor over there. He was called by the homeowner to repair the damage. He says both the front door and back door are busted in. Now, Secretary Kristi Noem sent.
I wonder if ICE is going to pay for that. So, yeah, we have the Director of Homeland Security, which is a mummer's farce as it is, directly participating in an ICE raid, except this is okay, nobody should be subjected to this shit, regardless of their citizenship status, but this was a literal fucking U.S. citizen, okay? These people do not care, okay? I'm going to keep saying this over and over and over again, because a lot of y'all don't get it. A lot of y'all still believe in reformism. A lot of y'all still believe that America can be rectified non-violently. But what is happening, what continues to happen, demonstrates that this country is unsalvageable. You cannot fix this. There is no fixing it. I understand it's going to hurt a lot of y'all to y'all's hearts, because a lot of y'all are for whatever reason still committed to some type of peaceful transition, which as a Maoist I already know is not possible. There could be no peaceful coexistence between capitalism and socialism. But a lot of people are finding this out the hard way, because that's how Americans learn. Americans only learn the hard way. Americans are very stubborn, very pig-headed people, unfortunately. But hey.
Out a tweet that reads in part, "I was on the ground in Chicago today to make it clear we are not."
This woman is the biggest LARPer in existence.
Backing down. That post on X also included video showing several people being led away in handcuffs. We have witness video that was taken after a person describes hearing an explosion around 5:50 this morning. You can see armed officers shining flashlights at a door and into a window as well. Another neighbor told us about the response from law enforcement that came from the air.
Awakened at 20 to 6 by the drone of the helicopter flying overhead, circling the house, circling the neighborhood, spotlight on, right over the house. Very unusual in our usually quiet neighborhood.
Back out here live, people in the neighborhood are slowly filtering over here to see this damage. Everyone walking up to us wants to know what the people were taken into custody for. Well, according to Secretary Noem, she indicated on social media their offenses include DUI, felony stalking, and assault. We know that members of a rapid response team are walking around the neighborhood trying to be on standby in case there are any more ICE arrests. I also wanted to tell you that Representative Lauren Underwood from the Northwest suburbs says she got debriefed by ICE recently, who told her that since September 6th, there have been 250 ICE arrests in the Chicago area. I'm Laura Victory reporting live in Elgin this morning, CBS News Chicago.
You cannot have peace with an executioner. You cannot have peace with people who do this. You cannot have peace with bureaucrats who giggle and kick their feet with glee at the thought, at the chance to ruin people's lives. So this individual is at Arizona State University in Arizona and was lured to a meeting to apparently discuss a social media post, and this is what happened.
No, I don't. Wait, why? No, you don't touch me. What did I do? I don't know you guys.
We identified ourselves as Homeland Security. We have our badges.
What the fuck is wrong with you guys? What is happening?
Listen, I don't know what's going on. I told you we're special agents of Homeland Security.
I don't know. No, hey, dude. I don't know.
This is a literal Gestapo. A lot of people use that term lightly. No, this is a literal Gestapo. And a lot of y'all ain't going to make it because you all talk endlessly about the fact that we live under fascism in this country, yet you all have have not stretched this analysis as far as it'll go, to use Fred Hampton's lovely words, rest in power. A lot of people aren't going to make it, because they still think that this shit is a joke. They still think this shit is a joke. After the event last week, comrades were getting fucking tormented night and day. And Y'all continue to act as if this shit is not normal. This shit is normal. This is what America is. This is what America is. This is what America has always been. This is what America will always be until what needs to be done is done. It's just that simple. Who will survive America? Anybody who continues to act as if this country can be salvaged, this country can be saved, this country can be fixed. Y'all ain't gonna make it. I'm sorry. Y'all ain't gonna make it. If the past week has not shown you what this whole fucking regime is about, you're not gonna make it.
We do have breaking news at 5 o'clock tonight. Nationally renowned attorney Ben Crump has been hired by the family of 21-year-old DeMartavian Reed, a Delta State University student found hanged in a tree on campus Monday.
Yeah, this is where we're at. People are acting like, oh my God, they're lynching people. Okay, they never stop lynching us, okay? They never stop lynching us. Do you have any idea how many black people and brown people and indigenous people have gone missing? Who have just disappeared into the ether, never to be found, who have died mysteriously on camping trips with their white coworkers or on sleepovers? Like, they have never stopped. Okay? Why do we have a sort of instinctive distrust of white people? Because white people have a history of posing as our friends so that they can do these types of atrocities to us. Okay? Yeah, that's where we are. That's where we have always been. Sundown towns never stopped existing. To be fair, most sundown towns are not places where anybody, black or white or wherever, wants to live. Why you would dedicate such time and energy to protecting your rancid shithole is beyond me. But yes, sundown towns still exist. They're not the type of places that you would want to go regardless. But yeah, they still exist.
In a press release we received 5 minutes ago, Crump said the family has received vague answers and there are many questions. He is calling for a transparent investigation. That's something we heard from another family attorney during a news conference that just wrapped up. Reed was found just after 7 a.m. on Monday near the school's pickleball courts. According to an initial report from the Bolivar County Coroner's Office, there were no signs or evidence that Reed was physically attacked, assaulted, or injured. Now, the family of Reed held.
So my guess is the people he knew and trusted the people that did this to him. So looking at the demographics of this university, the university is over half white. It's 36% black. Economic diversity, 51% are described as affluent, 49% are described as low-income. Notable graduates, a bunch of people I don't know. One of the presidents of Tuskegee University went to Delta State. But yeah, so a majority white school in rural Mississippi, Cleveland, Mississippi. Nina Simone wrote Mississippi Goddamn for a reason. Like, my family left this shithole for a reason. I would not want to go to a majority white school in Mississippi. That's just asking for a hard time.
Held a press conference in.
But I thought this is a free country. I thought we're supposed to be able to go to school wherever we want to. Why you would want to go to school in Delta State in Cleveland, Mississippi is beyond me. But it's supposed to have been this individual's right to go to school there without being fucking hanged.
Grenada earlier. That's where we find 16 WAPT's Brooklyn Joyner live with more. Brooklyn.
Troy, I'm here at Living Faith Miracle Temple Church in Grenada, where you can see, well, Trey Reed's family was there congregating outside of the church. They recently left, but they did partner up with an attorney, and they are demanding answers from the Bolivar County coroner as well as Delta State University. The attorney said they are calling for an independent investigation, an independent autopsy to determine what happened to Trey Reed. Trey's grandfather said they were misinformed by the Bolivar County Sheriff's Department on what actually happened to their grandson. Law enforcement told them Trey was found unconscious in his bed and his death was ruled a suicide, but the
So you've also got a nationally renowned playwright that was burned to death in Atlanta in a fire that was an arson fire that was set intentionally. Of course, the cops would turn you into would rule this a suicide. Of course they would. Like that's what they always do. Like that's par for the course. Like, oh, the cops are black. Okay, there's no color. There's no color when you start talking about cops. Yes, there are racial contradictions in the police forces, but especially down there, the only thing they give a shit about is blue. So this was in Smyrna, Georgia. Smyrna police and fire responded to an apartment fire where they discovered the body of 32-year-old Olivia Matthews. The authorities also determined that Matthews had injuries unrelated to the fire and that security cameras had vanished just before the incident occurred. Another lynching. Another lynching. Yeah. Black and brown people are turning up dead mysteriously. Lynching is not coming back. Lynching has already been here. Lynching has already been here. How are we going to get justice? We cannot keep waiting for this shit to happen before we start talking about, oh, we got to get our shit together. You should have been had your shit together, bro. You should have been had your shit together. As George Jackson said, it should not be this easy for them to keep killing us. It should not be this easy for them to keep killing us. It should not be this easy for them to keep killing your comrades and people that you claim to be fighting on behalf of.
The name Trayvon Reed needs to ring all over the United States right now. One, that is my cousin. Two, this is the second incident that has occurred within the last 5 years at this campus. This year, just today, it was reported that my cousin was found hanging from a tree and they trying to rule it as a suicide. Now, I just got off the phone with one of my cousins. She said she seen the reports and it said that he was beaten and bruised. Both his situation that happened with sit-in. I love to refer to that situation because that was one of the significant situations that happened with one of the black revolts that happened at the school. But still, I'm trying to be composed in this video and I'm trying to keep it all together. But it's a lot of
Indeed. What a lot of people understand is that like this shit is continuing to radicalize people in a left direction. Like people are trying, oh, this is pulling our country. This country has never been united. Okay? This country has never, ever, ever been in unity with itself. We literally have half the country that was enslaved. Right? What the fuck? How is that unity? That's an antagonistic contradiction. So when we talk about these mysterious deaths, aka lynchings, a An analyst with the Equal Justice Initiative says that there's always a pattern how these cases have been investigated. When authorities arrive on the scene of a hanging, it's treated as a suicide almost immediately. The crime scene is not preserved, the investigation is shoddy. Then there is a formal ruling of suicide, and then the case is never heard from again unless someone brings it up. Each day, Jefferson works on that list of 8 suspected hangings, including the 2018 hanging of Willie Andrew Jones Jr., trying to bring justice to grieving families. Plus, they've got 7 victims of these modern-day lynchings, plus Craig Anderson, who was fatally beaten in a racial terrorist attack that a federal judge called a lynching. Raynard Johnson was found hanging from a pecan tree in his front yard in Kokomo, Mississippi. The MBI, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, called it a suicide. His family believes Johnson was lynched. Mr. Johnson was 17 years old. Nick Naylor, 23. 3 years later, Nick Naylor was found hanging from a tree about 11 miles from his house in Porterville, Mississippi. A dog chain was wrapped around his neck. Every time someone loses their life in a hate crime, it opens up the wound, said Lakeisha Naylor, 43 years old, Naylor's sister. We have no closure. His killers are probably still around here walking around. I have little black boys. I've got grand boys. Kids walking around the same place where my brother got hung. We had to tell them what happened for his own protection. One thing we always wonder is what they did to him before he died. A year later, Roy Veal was found hanging from a pecan tree near Woodville, Mississippi. Relatives said Veal was found with a hood over his head. A hood over his head. Frank Jermaine Carter, December 3rd, 2010. Frank Jermaine Carter was found hanging from a tree limb in a white neighborhood. Yes, they still have white and black neighborhoods. In Greenwood, Mississippi, which is very close to where my family is from. Craig Anderson, 49, June 26, 2011. One of the most graphic examples of a modern-day racial terror killing occurred on June 26, 2011, when 10 white teenagers killed 49-year-old James Craig Anderson in Jackson, Mississippi. Teenagers who, according to court records, decided to go, yeah, ran over Anderson in a parking lot while yelling, yeah. That night, 2 carloads of white teenagers drove into a Martell parking lot where they spotted Anderson. Some teens jumped out of cars and started beating him in an attack they captured on the surveillance video. 3 teenagers, identified as Daryl Dedman, John Rice, and Dylan Butler, pleaded guilty in March of 2012 in federal district court to charges of conspiracy and committing a hate crime. Otis Bird was found hanging from a tree March 19, 2015, in Port Gibson, Mississippi. Philip Carroll, 22, May 18, 2017. He was found hanging from a tree in Jackson, Mississippi. DeAndre Montreal Hopkins. He was found hanging from a tree on the bank of the Luxapalilla Creek on May 5th, 2019. So all of these cops say that this is not a homicide, that these are not lynchings. Yes, the South is a house of, this entire country is a house of horror. Malcolm said that as long as you're south of the Canadian border, and Canada really ain't all that much of squawk about either, as long as you're south of the Canadian border, you're south. This entire country is the South, okay? There's no place in this country you can go as a black person and not be susceptible to a lynching at any time, anywhere. Why? Because of this. And common sense does everybody, as my grandma used to tell me. If you know the history of black people in this country, and one of us chooses to close the curtain on our own lives, why the fuck would we choose to hang ourselves from a tree? Why would a black person choose to end their own lives by hanging themselves from a tree? Does that make much sense to you? Mm-mm. So yeah, sit with that for a little bit. There was a case in my city as well, the aftermath of Ferguson. This is Miss Melissa McKinney's, whose son, Danye Jones, was found hanging in a tree in her front yard. Why is this weird, Bob?
After she says police failed to do their job.
Well, a Ferguson, Missouri activist found her son hanging from a tree, and police are ruling it a suicide, but the mother believes it was a lynching.
Now she is calling for an investigation after she says police failed to do their job. Ashley Lincoln from our CBS affiliate in St. Louis, KMOV, spoke with the mother.
Suicidal? Ready to leave his mother? No. Nope. A mother knows her child.
That's why Melissa McInnes wants St. Louis County Police to dig deeper into her son's death.
He was not suicidal.
On October 17th, she found Danye hanging from this tree in their backyard with bruises on his face. And this is her post that's been shared across America.
He was in good spirits.
McInnes says the 24-year-old wasn't depressed and was starting a real estate business. She believes there's more to this story.
He said somebody took my son.
McInnes, a prominent Ferguson activist, told me she thinks her family is being targeted. In the last 2 months, she says they've been getting death threats through social media, and those threats recently showed up at her doorstep.
They watched my house, and when my husband and my son would approach the car, they would drive off.
She also told me she never reported these threats to police, and I asked why not.
Because we felt like we had this, you know?
The St. Louis County coroner says Danye's autopsy won't be ready for weeks, and they will not give News 4 any preliminary reports.
That's my baby. It hurts.
St. Louis County Police told us for now this remains a suicide investigation.
Saying that he committed suicide? No. You're going to respect him.
Yeah.
To New Orleans now, as a notorious ransomware group claims responsibility.
Yeah, that's where we are. That's where we've always been. And there's never been any closure in this case or many of these other cases. Like the EGI people said, like the individuals that were interviewed for that story said, these people don't give a shit about us. They're not going to reopen these investigations. They're not going to deliver justice. In the meantime, you have J.D. Vance that's hosting some stupid podcast. Yeah, that's where we are. Nobody's going to save us but us. I keep saying this. Like, you want to know what the summation of all of this shit is? You want to know what the summation of all this shit is? It has to go. It has to. Like, there's no way around that. There's no way around that. I come on here every other fucking day. I come on here and I fucking tell you all this. I tell you all this. Now it's being shown. It's being demonstrated in practice. You have trans comrades that are being framed for the incident last week. Like, something is coming that a lot of people simply are not ready for. But if you don't take what few moments of relative peace remain to us in this country to prepare yourself, then I'm just going to say it. You're going to deserve years. You deserve your fate. Like, how much is it going to take?
Since 4 little girls were killed during a church bombing in Birmingham, Alabama. But the memory of that day is still fresh for one survivor. Chanel Jones has more.
60 years ago, an act of hate for
this was a couple years ago
ever changed Birmingham, Alabama, when the Ku Klux Klan.
They never lowered the flags for these youths, by the way. Why? Because they didn't care. They still don't care.
Klan placed a bomb outdoors beneath the 16th Street Baptist Church steps, taking the lives of 14-year-olds Addie Mae Collins, Cynthia Wesley, Carol Robertson, and 11-year-old Denise McNair, who were getting ready for service in the basement. A fifth little girl, Sarah Collins Rudolph, was there that day and survived.
What do you remember about that morning?
We walked to church that Sunday, and we was going to sing in the choir.
It took decades for Rudolph to speak publicly about what she endured and the loss of her older sister, Addie.
Denise McNair walked over to Addie, and she said, "Addie, tie my sash." So she reached her hand out to tie the sash, and I heard this loud noise. boom. And all I could do was say, Jesus, Addie, 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 but she didn't answer. They had to remove my right eye. And when I look in the mirror at it, I just think about it.
What does this 60th anniversary year mean for you and the congregation?
It means that we have a state of resiliency. 4 girls lost their lives, but yet in spite of all of that, the church is still thriving.
Today, Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson delivering a powerful message on this 60th anniversary.
Armed with our history, well prepared by our past, and secure in the knowledge
Why does she sound like AOC?
of what we have been through and where we're headed, we will triumph in the valiant struggle to promote constitutional
I've never really heard her speak. She sounds like AOC.
values and to obtain freedom and justice for all.
A message of hope and healing.
And fuck hope and healing. Like, enough with this hope and healing and reconciliation shit. There can be no reconciliation with people that do this fucked up shit. You have people that are going around shooting up homeless encampments now. Again, this is where we are. This is where we've always been. I'm going to keep saying this because a lot of y'all simply do not get it. Am I tired of telling y'all? Of course not. But I don't know. When you get tired of going through this shit, you'll realize the truth of what I'm saying.
But unfortunately, here we are yet again in the aftermath of a mass shooting. This is not normal. I'm providing details on yet another multiple victim shooting in which 8 people have been injured by gunfire. This time this occurred at a homeless encampment.
So reading these articles, it seems like they're trying to blame this on the unhoused themselves for existing. I mean, America produces unhoused people. America produces unhoused people. This is another crime of America. If you want to unhouse people to be safe, then maybe you should arm them and give them places to live. If you see people talking like this, don't listen to them. The praise able working classes, ableist, and promotes eugenics because it positions disabled people and workers as enemies. Okay, the majority of disabled people work. Shit, people become disabled through their work. If I said what I think should happen to this guy, yeah. This is like Johnny Rebel for Zoomers. Johnny Rebel over a trap beat.
Whoa, we need a big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang them up high at sundown. Leave them swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town.
Nobody wants to come to your town.
Big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang them up high at sundown. Leave them.
Yeah, let's see if there's anything else to this song besides glorifying lynchings. Nope, doesn't seem to be anything else to it. Yeah. Forgiato Blow and JJ Lawhorn. Both of them look like fentanyl addicts.
Swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town.
Yeah. So that's the enemy. These are the people that you have to deal with. I have not seen any further confirmation about this alleged Maoist call for a ceasefire in India. I hope it's not true, but I'm also not a guy that gets off on other people shedding their blood. So we'll see. So this is a post by Genesis Perry, who says that to the Reed and Tillman family, do not let this go. Our son was at Delta State 2 years ago and left fearing for his life. He was calling home talking about some of the racism he was experiencing along with some of his friends. White guys riding around on campus throwing trash at them and calling them the N-word. He finally got the tag number and called the police. They did nothing. Our son then began to put pressure on the police department because it was constantly happening and he hasn't heard back from the complaint he filed. He did not become just a target for racism in Delta State. He became a target for the police department for demanding that they do their job. One night on campus, our son had to run for his life from the police. Eyewitnesses contacted his mom and I when they arrested him. We called both county and city and said that they gave us the runaround and said he wasn't taken into custody. That is how people disappear. That is how people get hanged. Yeah. The whole 5 hours we were there and we refused to leave, they told us that they didn't happen. Finally, after a 5 or 6 hour standoff, they told us he was in the back. Even with the whole incident on video and several eyewitnesses, the court did nothing. His story went viral on The Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. The courts never arrested the white guys nor punished the policeman for kidnapping our son. Our son later called us wishing to withdraw from Delta State. He began to fear for his life. He was continuously getting racially profiled, and he could not trust the police to protect and serve him. So he left. Do not let Trey's death go in vain. Turn over every stone, dot every I, and cross every T. Get Trey justice. I agree. And if you're an organization, a left organization, and you have not spoken about this, if you have not said anything about this, especially if you're down there, black people should not trust you, nor should we. We're literally being hanged from trees. And you're talking about what, Medicare for all? Look at this shit. This shit keeps happening. Where's the left? Where are our supposed white comrades? Where are our modern day John Browns? This shit shows that the only people that have us are us. You really can't rely on white people. You can't. Like, no matter how much shit they talk, no matter how much woofing they do, this is the energy that we have. One thing I love about us is that we're just the most hilarious of trolls. So yeah. This is where we're at. And quit saying lynching is coming back. Quit acting like this is something new. It may be something new to white folks. This shit ain't new to us. It's not. In my city, I also read an article that was sent by a comrade earlier about how people at a hospital tried to take out a black man's organs while he was alive. Yeah, he had been shot in the head, but his heart was still beating. He was still technically alive. That's what happens. You ask why black people don't trust doctors? Yeah. What's the point of having universal health care, universal organ donations? And by the way, all those organs go to white people. We don't get organ transplants. We can't afford them. So yeah, all that shit goes to rich white people. Here's the article. Shit. This is Larry Black Jr. He was moments away from having his organs harvested when a doctor ran breathlessly into the room. Get him off the table, the doctor recalled telling the surgical team at SSM Health, St. Louis University Hospital. Hey, that's my alma mater hospital. As the team cleaned Black's chest and abdomen. This is my patient. Get him off the table. At first, no one recognized Zoni in his surgical mask. Then he told the surgical team he was the neurosurgeon assigned to Black's case. Stunned by his orders, the team members pushed back, explaining that they had consent from the family to remove Black's organs. So if this doctor had not intervened, they literally would have butchered this dude alive. So today, this guy is still alive. He's a musician and the father of 3 children, still living in St. Louis, but he still needs regular physical therapy from being shot in the head. So we heard his mom yelling. Everybody was there yelling his name, crying, playing his favorite song, sending prayers. And all he could do was knock on the side of the bed, blink his eyes, trying to show that he was still alive. But yeah. During a 4-year period in New York, during a 4-year period nationally, this is from the New York Times, medical providers had planned to harvest the organs of 73 patients despite signs of neurological activity. Yeah, so they're literally harvesting the organs of poor, working-class, lumpen people to help rich people live a few more years of miserable life. That's where we're at. So sit with that. Enjoy the rest of your night. And if you ain't got that thing on you, get one. Get several. Otherwise, you ain't going to make it. Who will survive America? Hopefully me and you. But if not you, then I like myself. Peace.